Hi everyone. So today I'm going to talk about female friendships and I will discuss what all qualities a good friend should possess. Also, these are rules that I live by and also what I try to practice myself in all my friendships. For example, there are people who are only acquaintances. So we should not refer to them as friends. A friend is a word and a bond which should be taken very seriously and it comes with a lot of responsibility. So you cannot simply label a colleague as a friend unless you are genuinely willing to take on that kind of responsibility. The first, absolutely non negotiable thing for me is trust. Trust is as basic as managing to keep something confidential which the other person has entrusted you with, and when that person has especially mentioned that do not tell anybody else this. Someone who has not been taught or has not learned this very basic rule has absolutely failed in life. I'm pretty sure that many of the people who watch this video are going to agree with me and they faced someone breach their trust at some point of time. Now, this was probably okay when you were in school because probably all your friends who were doing this to you were probably picking it up back home, and maybe the group of relatives that they grew up amidst, or even their parents. Maybe most of those people had this habit of listening to something and then transmitting it to other people in the family. I also feel that with time and with exposure, there are certain qualities that good, observant people, people who are flexible to change, they pick up from their surroundings as well. And they may be able to let go of the wrong things that they've picked up during their early years. I also genuinely believe that even when we end up outgrowing some friendships, we should always respect the privacy of those people. And it should not be like that if a friend of mine had told me her deepest secrets, and let's say the friendship did not survive the test of time, or maybe it hit a rough patch and there were certain differences, which happens to every one of us, right? That does not mean that I would go around, talking about whatever she had entrusted me with. Of course, the best way to check if you can trust someone or not is time. And during this time, you have to watch out for the way these people conduct themselves with respect to the other friends whom they claim to be very close to. For example, let's say there's this girl and she has a group of two or three friends whom she claims in public that they're very close to her. But behind their back, she's always talking about whatever they've told her about. So that's a huge red flag. Another category of dangerous people would be who've outgrown certain friendships and now behind the back of those people, they are discussing their personal stories with you. My rule regarding such situations is that you can obviously have grievances against a certain person and it may be disturbing you a lot. So if you're coming up to me and discussing all of that, I totally understand that because that is where it is affecting you. That is where your mental health comes in. But talking about someone's personal stuff is not something where your mental health is involved. It is purely gossip and it truly shows the kind of person that you are. You cannot be trusted. My second parameter would be that a good female friendship can exist with both kinds of people. The first kind could be someone who shares your core beliefs. She can also be someone who's the polar opposite, but then she also has to be non judgmental of your choices and your life. With passing time and increasing age, we do come across all sorts of people, and it is not necessary that their value systems may match with ours, but there should always be space for each other's beliefs, space for each other's decisions. The third rule that I live by is genuine support. Now, to offer support, you need to put in the time. In today's times, which are already so fast paced and so busy for everyone, if somebody is taking out time for you, that already makes you very, very special for them. Just the very fact that they care enough about you to tell you that I've been busy with these things, so I'm not going to be able to give you time, or I'm not doing very well myself. So, I don't think I can be there for you at this point of time. Even little gestures like this do matter. Also, there are friendships across time zones where the timing cannot match and people can be genuinely very, very busy. But yes, in times of technology like this, where everybody has their phone handy. If somebody actually does care about you, that person will drop a message sooner or later. But let's say that somebody is very busy, let's say 6 months, and there's not even a single text from them. That is saying that you do not cross their mind at all. Because in today's times, it's very easy to just pick up your phone and ping someone on WhatsApp. It hardly takes 5 seconds. We have to consider many other factors, including the mental health of the person as well. It could be that the other person is not doing well. You can also judge the friendship by other parameters, that are you the only one who is always texting them? My next parameter is protection. How well does your friend protect you in your absence? Does she sit with people who hate you? Does she warn you against people who hate you? Does she actually look out for you, wants things to happen in your best interest? How genuine are all these feelings? They can tell you a lot. These small actions can differentiate an acquaintance from true, genuine friendship. The next parameter I live by is honesty. How honestly does the other person communicate with you when they are hurt by something that you did? The foundation of a good and solid friendship is laid on good communication. So, when I do not like something that you said, I will confront you. I will talk to you about it instead of going around in the world and singing about that particular anecdote. Honesty also means that when I think that you are doing something wrong, I also voice my opinion regarding that. And of course, I do it very respectfully. Two mature, well meaning adults can always agree to disagree, but someone who is a genuine friend will always tell you when they think you're doing something wrong. My second last parameter has to be respect for boundaries. Generally speaking, boundaries are limitations that we as a person may verbally impose in any equation with anyone. For example, a boundary would be that I'm not doing too well right now, so I cannot speak to you beyond a certain amount of time. Or another boundary could be that I'm not comfortable speaking about a particular topic or a particular incident. So, when you make these things clear to the person should have respect for that, and the other person should not push those boundaries. My last parameter is consider everything and do give a benefit of doubt to people. But at the same time, you have to be wise. Sometimes, when you're too empathetic, and you go out of your way too often for people because of your empathy or sympathy, then many people who are crooked, mean, who've not learned better at their homes, they will try to take advantage of you. Remember, time is the greatest test of a friendship, because with time there is mental growth, there's a lot of change, there are a lot of challenges, and the actual strength of your friendship will be tested by that. Thanks for watching.